Hello and welcome to Oh the Horror. I'm Fedora, and it's time for another edition of the... Yes, thank you for that. Anyway, now, before I start, little disclaimer. Tonight was supposed to be Puppet Master 5, mainly due because it's a direct sequel to the last movie. But after watching it, I discovered that it is very, very similar to the fourth movie. So much so that I didn't really think I could make a decent episode out of it without repeating a lot of the jokes I made in the last one. It's kind of annoying because I've been advertising Puppet Master 5 in my theme song since the beginning of this season. So instead, I thought I'd skip it and go to the sixth entry to the franchise, and in many people's opinions, mine included, the worst out of all of them. So, let's not waste any more time. Let's dig into Curse of the Puppet Master.
So, this movie starts on a dark and stormy night at this hillside manor house, where we see the puppets confined to cages, witnessing their new owner, this random scientist dude, apparently heading out to ditch out one of his failed experiments.
You know this isn't what I intended. It'll be different next time. You'll see. I swear.
No doubt the exact words said by the director to the critics after the premiere. So Dr. Matt Smith's bow tie here drives the still screaming experiment out into the middle of the set of Plan 9 from Outer Space, where he drenches it in gasoline and lights it up. Then we enter into our opening credit sequence, which contains something that we'll be seeing quite a lot of in the franchise future, and in this movie too. Stock footage! Please don't hate us, cause we only filmed half a movie.
Seriously, those shots from the cages? Probably about half the original footage they shot for the puppets.
Let's finish our tea quickly, honey. We gotta give this pergola back to Mensa Springfield. So, the next morning, our new professor friend by the name of McGrew, fresh from raiding Pee Wee Herman's wardrobe it seems, is talking with his young college-bound daughter Jane.
How's the gang?
Oh, same as ever.
Matt?
Matt left.
I always thought he was happy working for us.
Well, sometimes people change.
I think I've worked out the twist. McGrew did something to Matt, took him out into the woods, and burnt him! How can I not see the signs?
With his old assistant Matt's completely mysterious disappearance, McGrew and Jane drive out to the local gas station, where the town pushover Tank is being harassed by some 35-year-old bullies.
Alright, Joey, I'm gonna do it. Why do you check my tires now that you're down there?
Yeah, we totally always survive these movies. After the cliché brigade vacate the scene, Jane and McGrew notice that Tank is quite skilled at woodcrafting, a quality that McGrew, being the puppet master,
For some never-explained reason.
is highly interested in, and as such, asks Tank to be his new assistant.
Doing what sort of work?
This sort of work, Robin.
I've never seen you before in my life. I don't know if you're strange in the head or dangerous. But hell, come up into the middle of nowhere and live with me and my young, attractive teenage daughter.
Okay, Tank, this is our house. Here's some rare collectibles, the stage from my father's show, and, oh yeah, our group of living puppets. Courtesy of these shots from the first and third movies.
I don't understand. I just don't understand how puppets can live.
You know, Robert, I don't understand how anything can be alive. A man, a tree, a fish, but... You know, I guess when the miracle's commonplace enough, people just don't question it.
No, I'm still pretty sure that something made of plastic being alive still warrants a question or two.
Speaking of questions, who the fuck are these people? We have not been given a single bit of explanation of how and where this movie ties into the others in the franchise. There has not and will not be any mention of Toulon, Rick, nothing.
I didn't make them. I bought them at an auction years ago.
You got them from an auction? What were they doing at an auction? What, did Rick get bored of them after a while and hock them in to buy some more laser tag equipment?
Just don't question it.
I guess you're right. I nitpick a bit too much, don't I? I mean, who am I to question the creative genius of the director of such classical movies as making it bigger? Never big enough. And sorority girls in the slime ball bolorama. Clearly a man who takes story and continuity very seriously.
So Tank is put to work the next day, helping out with the puppet show. But unfortunately, a couple of dirty cops show up to question McGrew about the disappearance of Matt. Well, I say they're dirty cops, it certainly made out for them to look that way, but seeing as we already know that McGrew is guilty of murder, it just makes the whole effort a little pointless.
Well, since you're so sure, I guess that pretty much settles our business here for now.
So let's get to something that does have a point, like Tank's reason for being here in the first place. Creating the perfect puppet. So after McGrew introduces Tank to his tools and the very complicated blueprints, the young man sets off to work.
Have you seen his work? This boy is a real artist, yes sir.
Yep, he's certainly earning his... How much you paying him again?
But I could pay you $35 a week if you want to come out and work for me.
You tight ass!
Take a look at Blade over there. He never tires, never hungers. He's purely and perfectly what he is.
And what he is stock footage. That night, after Tank goes to bed, he has a peculiar dream of actually being turned into a puppet himself.
Hey, just listen to this. Wouldn't it be weird if that was actually what was going on? Like if McGrew actually was turning Tank into some kind of human puppet and he was suddenly psychic all of a sudden and knew about it? Wouldn't that just be silly and completely out of the blue and never mentioned again?
And enough about dreams anyway, it's time for the romantic subplot to take off.
Got big hands.
Comes with the rest of me.
But it's never big enough, is it?
Okay, enough of the porno jokes. Let's all be happy for the new couple. Especially here on their first date, where they then stumble across the burnt-up remains of the failed experiment McGrew buried in the opening scene. And in a rather spontaneous move, Jane runs off in sadness, and straight into, oh shit, look, it's the Scorpions from Greece. Don't worry she takes them to prom, Tank, it's just to make you jealous.
Hey!
Quit it! Stop it!
Woo!
God damn it, David DeCoteau. This isn't Working Girls. We don't need a rape revenge story to happen here.
No, luckily, Tank shows up to stand up to the bullies, save the girl, and return home. You know, without reporting the attempted rapists, who can then break into your bedroom that night. Luckily, Pinhead is there to chase the punk off, and when he retreats back to his house, McGrew woos over, releasing Blade and Tunneler, who are wheeled across the floor. Goodbye awesome stop-motion animation. To finish the job.
Listen, baby, I don't care if he is a fat bastard. You don't give a man a shot in the pills. It's just not cricket.
So with that mess sorted, McGrew returns home to Jane, who confesses to him that her and Tank are now in love. But for some reason, McGrew really doesn't take this very well, pleading for her not to get too attached.
Honey, please, you're not listening to me.
Well, then tell me, what are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that you're young and that he's young. And as you said, anything can happen.
I mean, one day he's carving wood and the next he could be turned into a human puppet. Dad, don't spoil the ending early. Oh, shut up, Jane. He's already dreamed about it twice and it's on the freaking movie's cover. The next day, Jane checks up on Tank while he's working to find that he's suddenly become very feverish and delirious. She wants to stay with him until the Dr. McGrew call arrives, but he insists that she instead head to the docks to pick up some stock that he ordered, while he watches over Tank. And I'm sure he'll take real good care of him. Oh dear, somebody call the police! Speaking of which, the dirty cop from earlier has found the dead bully and has begun gathering information from his gang.
You and Joey were like two balls in a sack. When'd you see him last?
You know, I don't rightly recall.
You don't?
Nope.
What are you acting like a dick for? He's investigating your friend's murder!
Damn straight! I'm liking this cop more and more. After getting the info about the rapey run-in they had with Jane, the cops head over to McGrew's house to arrest him. But he gets the jump on them and attacks them with the deadly combination of stock footage and incredibly lazy puppeteering. Meanwhile, over at the docks, Jane is shocked to discover that the stock she was sent to get does not exist. So in her confusion, she zooms back home. On the way, spontaneously stopping off at that place McGrew burnt the experiment, only to discover it was a living puppet containing the soul of Matt.
So McGrew is gonna turn Tank into a human puppet? How are there no signs of this amazing twist coming?
So Jade rushes to stop her father's evil plan. But...
I did it.
where do I even start with this? Well, first, that's the puppet body Tank was making all this time? This clearly metal thing? I don't see any legs, you know, like the legs on both the blueprints and the ones we saw him crafting. How is this magic happening? This magic here. Is this Toulon's liquids effect? We didn't see McGrew use it or even mention it. I don't see any other equipment in use at the moment, so what's doing this? And wait, what? What's happening now? The puppets are attacking McGrew? Why? Where did this come from? Up until now they were helping him! Okay, Jade's home. Hopefully she'll allow us to get some explanation for all of this sudden madness.
Robert, no!
What, did they just hit writer's block at that point? Were they like, shit, I don't know where to go from here. Ah, hell, let's just end it.
Well, I guess that was Curse of the Puppet Master.
The first 5 movies in the series ranged from dark and creepy to action-packed to more corny in nature. But they were all enjoyable for what they were. And as I said, had a lot of effort put into them with the story and the visual effects. And 5 was meant to be the finale. But then, due to popularity, this movie emerged and spat in the fans' faces. It's lazy, terribly written, containing no continuity, no drive, and just jammed with plot holes and stock footage, and then just ends, because fuck, we're all out of ideas, roll credits. In the end, this is, without any doubt, the worst film in the entire franchise.
And shit. That makes the entire purpose of doing this to get my body back rendered completely pointless. Oh well, I'll make up for it next time. But until then, I'm Fedora, this is Oh the Horror, save a screen for me, and we'll see you next time.
It's anytime.